Hey friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jenna. I love to crochet plushies, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I am so excited for today's video. I am finally sitting down and doing a Q&A. I think the last time that I did a Q&A was literally in 2023 when I first launched my channel, so this is way overdue. I posted a story on my Instagram asking you guys for questions, and you guys delivered. I got so many, so I'm really excited to really dive in and hopefully answer as many as I can. I'm just gonna go right through the list, so there's really no organization to this video. I'm sorry. Hopefully Editing Jenna can kind of like segment it together, but as I answer questions, I thought it would be fun for us to sit down and crochet together. So I am finally doing one of the big patterns that I've had on my list for so long, you guys. And what is the pattern, you might ask? It is Anchor the Octopus. So here is the pattern. I loaded it up on my Notability app, and it is by Humble Child Co. I feel like Anchor really blew up last year, and of course I am late to the game because crocheting projects that I want to crochet, that is a luxury. I honestly should not do this right now because I have a million other things I have to do, but I'm gonna sit down and treat myself during this video, and we're gonna try to make Anchor together. I feel like I'm a bit intimidated, not gonna lie, by the tentacle portion because I know these are like a bunch of bobble stitches, and I am not a fan of bobble stitches, but we're just gonna power through it. I think I'm gonna start with his like head and body though, so hopefully that won't be too bad, and hopefully I can multitask because I have not made this pattern yet. I'm not familiar with it, so hopefully I'm able to do both. I'll answer your questions and crochet Anchor. So in terms of yarn, I'm actually using Bernat Blanket yarn, and I feel like I've been trying to incorporate Bernat Blanket more and more this year. I feel like I have been kind of biased with it because when I first started crocheting, this yarn was not as soft as it is currently. They completely like redid the line, and it is so much better. So I'm really excited to give it a go, and I specifically got the Whimsical collection because look at this blue color. I feel like this would look stunning with Anchor, and then for his little tentacle slash bobble stitches, I am going to do just this plain color. I don't know, is this called? This is Birch. So birch for the tentacles, and then the blue, and let me see what color this is. This is Storm Blue by the Mysticals collection, and I have seen a bunch of other people create Anchor with this specific colorway, and it looks gorgeous, so of course I had to hop on that. And actually, before we get started, I am feeling a little hungry, so this is the perfect time to talk about today's sponsor, Uber Eats. So I've been ordering delivery with Uber Eats ever since college, and it is still one of my favorite ways to order food. I love how quick and easy it is to place an order. Simply just browse the app, place your order, track the progress, and enjoy. And the best part is you'll always be able to find something yummy that you're craving, whether that's sushi or burgers or wings or even salad, since there are hundreds of restaurants to choose from. And if you prefer to pick up, that's always an option, and you can skip out on the delivery fee. So today I'm craving some wings and fries, so I just ordered delivery with Uber Eats. It's super convenient that I can track my order directly in the app and see exactly where my food is. I also love that you pay and tip directly in the app, so you don't have to worry about having cash on hand. And oh, I think my Uber Eats order just arrived. It's truly so nice that the drivers leave your order right at the door. I love a good no contact transaction. And here are my wings and fries. They look so good. I cannot wait to eat these. So if you use my code Jenna15, you'll get $15 off your first order of 20 or more. I absolutely love Uber Eats, and I was super excited when they reached out. I just wanted to say another huge thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. I'm gonna go snack on the fries. I feel like I'll save the wings for later, and then I'll come back and catch up with you guys. Okay, I'm back from my snack break. I am so full, and I'm so ready to dive into all of your questions and Anchor. And actually, I totally lied to you guys. I looked at the pattern, and it looks like you have to create the tentacles first. So guess I'm going to create the tentacles first. The ripping of the skein. Okay, you can totally tell that I did not plan out this video and that I don't script things because I just read the pattern again, and it looks like I have to start with my tentacle bobble stitch color. So the ripping of the skein once again. Wow. I'm gonna set the blue yarn aside since I am not gonna be using it for a hot second. And let me bring up the first question because this is a Q&A and I have yet to answer a question. Look at all of these amazing questions. Okay, I'm gonna try to do as many as I can because you guys delivered. So the first question is from Raya_8910, and she asked, what is your next big project? Ooh, I'm so excited. I hinted to you guys on Instagram that I bought 20 skeins of Hobie's Honey Bunny like XL jumbo bunny. I don't remember what the actual name of that yarn is. I'll insert a picture here, but I got 20 skeins in the color red, and I will give you guys an exclusive hint here on YouTube because I feel like I gotta give you something, right? Because someone asked that question. So the main color is red. It's going to be between 2 to 3 feet long, and the last hint I'll give you is that it is a mystical creature that has been very popular this year. I may or may not have already created several patterns for this creature, and I feel like it was also highly requested by you guys. So given all of that, let's see if you guys can guess what my next big project will be. I actually don't know when I'll be able to sit down and start on that project because I just have so many other things going on. I have a huge secret project that I've been working on in the background that I can't tell you guys about yet, but that comes first, and a lot of stuff for that project are due in a few weeks, so I need to bang those out first, and then I'll be able to sit down and crochet my next big jumbo project. The next question is by Mariam.sheriff.792. They asked, I have a crochet business that isn't growing and I only post posts. I have no ideas for reels at all. Ooh, this is a good question because I feel like a lot of people struggle with posting content, and honestly, I get it because there are days where I'm like, I have no idea what I should post, and I feel like I try to come up with content ahead of time, but sometimes you just kind of like post everything that you've made and then you're like, now what? What do I post? And it's hard to constantly come up with content. So I feel like with reels, it is one of the best ways to grow on Instagram, posting reels over posting like static pictures, just because with reels, it seems to like reach a wider audience, especially people who don't follow you, and that is key to growing your following, is to reach people that don't follow your account and kind of reel them in and show them what you have to offer, like what kind of content that you put out, and hopefully that will entice them to go follow you. So I feel like posting reels is the best way to reach more people. So in terms of the reel content, I feel like I'm lazy like 90% of the time, and I just show like my yarn, and then I like tap the screen, and then I'll show you the final plushie, and something as simple as that can be effective. Like, don't think that you have to come up with like a masterpiece reel every time you post something. You can be lazy with your content. Also, you can reuse stuff. Like, I will post a reel of a plushie, but then also I'll make sure to take a lot of pictures of that same plushie and then post it as a static post. That way I will cover all bases. I'll be able to post a regular picture, I'll be able to post a reel, and that will really help me optimize like how many people see this plushie, how many people I'm able to reach in terms of non-followers, followers, etc. So I guess my biggest tip with reels is to just try anything and everything. Like, you can be as lazy as you want with it or as creative as you want. I feel like Croutons Crochet does a lot of great content in terms of like really out of the box reels. Like, she's thrown her plushies out the window, she's burned them, she's like thrown ice cream onto them. So that's like a really good example of just like completely doing whatever you want, and basically whatever your creativity comes up with, just go with it. Like, never be scared to post anything. So that's a really good example. And then you have the other side where it's like your typical crochet reels where you like have your yarn, tap the screen, show the finished plushie. Like, anything goes, honestly. You never know what will be picked up by the algorithm. The only thing is, if you don't post it, you'll never have that opportunity to get picked up by the algorithm. So post that content. No matter what it is, just put it out there. Dang, my phone screen already went away and I have to reload all of the questions, and then this is the only thing I've done so far. This is so bad. Maybe I should have chose like a project where I could actually like multitask, because with this, I don't even know what I'm doing. I have to chain 61 and I don't even know how many chains this is. Oh boy. Okay, let me answer one more question and then I'll pivot really quick and do the 61 chains, and then hopefully from there it'll be more mindless because I already counted out the chains that I had to do. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a hot second since I did a Q&A. Usually every month I come up with an exclusive video for my patrons, and I always have a Q&A section within those exclusive videos, but I have never done like a full sit down Q&A video for you guys on YouTube in literally years, so sorry, this is a bit crazy, a little chaotic. Okay, I'm gonna go with an easy one. Radina and Milanova asked, what is the counter on the top yarn shelf supposed to count? So that is my Shopify counter. Shopify sent that to me. So I run my standalone website through Shopify, and this counter is actually synced directly with my Shopify website. So whenever someone places an order, this counter will update live, like in real time. And I feel like sometimes in videos, you'll see it like moving in the background. And yeah, the numbers basically represent the amount of orders that I've gotten. So right now we're at 32,000, which is crazy. But keep in mind, a lot of my products that I offer on my website are digital products. So that's kind of why the number is like super high. I did not crochet 32,000 plushies. Okay, and another quick question that I think is fun. Actually Yarn asked, how do you keep that plant in the picture so full? The leaves always fall off of mine. Guys, I am not a plant person. Like, my thumb is the furthest thing from green. I feel like I've killed so many plants in my lifetime, so I honestly have no idea why this plant is thriving so much. I actually went back into my old videos and my old pictures and I tried to see what this plant looked like when we first moved here like over a year ago, and I'll insert the picture here. It is crazy how tiny that plant was, and now looking at it, it's basically going to hit the floor. Like, do you guys see that? It is inches away from the floor. That is crazy. And honestly, my secret is to not really like pay attention to it. Like, I feel like that's so counterintuitive, but I really do not pay attention to this plant. He has just been thriving and growing on his own. I feel like I water it like once every 2 weeks. Like, I don't water it that often. And honestly, my husband usually waters the plants and I feel like he does it like every week or every 2 weeks or so, but it's not like a daily thing. It's not like a high maintenance plant. I really just leave it alone. And honestly, that applies for like all the plants up there. Let me show you guys. Like, all of these plants, I guess they're thriving because they have this good lighting. I mean, that's the only thing I can chalk it up to. So I am really shocked that this plant has grown so much over the past year, and I actually don't even know what kind of plant this is. I want to say someone told me what it was, but I'll have to look back. Okay, let me make my chain real quick and then we'll go back to answering the questions. I need to count up and see how many chains I did. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm just gonna frog it and recount because I feel like that's faster. Okay, we got the chain of 61. I'm honestly reconsidering even doing this though, guys, because I feel like I would not be able to focus on this and then also answer the questions. So maybe I will just like make anchor after the Q&A because I don't think I can do both. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna set this aside. Sorry about the intro. It is clearly not correct now, but I will make anchor by the time this video is over, hopefully. Now let's go back to the questions because that's the whole point of this video. Okay, I really want to answer as many as I can, so we're gonna try to go rapid fire. Naughty Mouse Crochet asks, can we get an office tour? So something that I think is really funny is my office appears like way bigger than it actually is in person. And my sister can definitely attest to this because when she came to visit me, when she saw my office in real life, she's like, oh wow, like I thought it was way bigger. And I'm like, yeah, no, that is just like the angles and I guess like how it looks on screen, but it is not big at all. My office tour, I can do it really quick for you guys. So right there, that is the entrance, that is the door. I have my yarn organizer on the back. Usually this door is open, but right now, because I'm recording and everything, I just wanted to close it off. Shay is sleeping in the other room, but I also didn't want her to come in here and mess with me. So the door is usually open, but that is where I enter. And then we have the nice pretty corner that you guys always see in my videos, but that is basically it for this corner. Then we swivel over and we have my nice wooden shelves. This is like the far wall that is on the right of me usually, so you guys don't really see this straight on. So this is just like my regular wooden shelves. Then in front, this is where my desk is, and this is why I have really nice lighting most of the time because I'm sitting in front of these two windows. And we have my desk and everything, and then if I swivel over even more, we have the closet, and the closet I will not open because it is very messy, but basically I have excess yarn in there. I have a bunch of like wire yarn cubes. I have all of my sinker eyes. I have just random stuff, honestly, like random packaging things, extra boxes, and there we go, and there's the door again. So it is really not that big of a room at all, but I made sure to be strategic when I did set up this office because I wanted a very pretty background. So hopefully in the next office I will have a very pretty background like this. I'm going to carry over all of the same like shelves and stuff, but I am going to try and like tailor my office next move, like in our next house. So hopefully the background will look a bit different, but we'll still have like basically the shelves back here and like the plants. It'll be the same vibe, but maybe just like a little bit more elevated. But once I do move and redo the office, I will give you guys a full office tour for sure. I'm super excited about that. Also, I don't know why I picked this up. I just out of habit, I'm like, I need something in my hand like crochet related. I'm gonna put that back down. Okay, the next question is by LightNia1, and they asked, how do you manage keeping your creativity and being so productive? So I get this question a lot, and honestly, I'm a big list person. I love making lists, especially for every single day. I love planning out my week. I use Notion, which is like an online planner organizer. I will have my spread here, but like basically I live on this page because that is where I have my weekly spread. I have my to-do checklist for every single day of the week, and I really try to stick to it. I feel like by having a checklist, physically being able to check off a task once you're done, it's like so satisfying. So that's why I like the checklist format, and that's why I like having lists. It really helps me stay like organized, and also it keeps me from feeling overwhelmed, because if I sat down and thought about like everything that I needed to get done, for example, this week, I feel like I would be very overwhelmed. But if I'm able to like bucketize what I need to do every single day and kind of just like go through it day by day, it really helps ground me and keep me like sane. So that's kind of how I've navigated, like especially moving over to full-time. I feel like being a full-time crocheter, a lot comes down to how organized you are and how much you can get done in a day. And since you're your own boss, you really have control over all of that. So if you aren't organized, it's really easy to like not do stuff throughout the day, not be as productive as you can. And that's totally okay. Like everyone deserves to have like an off day. You don't have to be super productive every day, but I just know myself, and it's like, I know I want to get done what I need to get done every day. So by making lists, it helps me a lot. And then in terms of creativity, I feel like, I don't know, like that's really hard to answer, because for me, like I just like love crochet in general. So I feel like my creativity is always flowing through me as I crochet, because I just love the craft so much. But whenever I do get some blocks in terms of like not knowing what to create next, or not knowing what pattern design I want to do, I will do like a quick Google search. Like right now I was trying to come up with like Halloween designs, and I wasn't sure like what direction I wanted to go. So I went on Google and just simply like searched like popular Halloween cartoon. And then I like looked through all of the different images. I saw some like witches, zombies, Frankensteins, and it really helped me in terms of like visualizing kind of what I wanted to create. And yeah, I feel like whenever I do get to one of those stopping points, I will go to Google and I'll just like search a bunch of stuff and see like both physical plushies, like non-crochet plushies, just regular stuffed animals. I'll search cartoon, I'll search like clip art, I'll search like popular, for example, like popular Halloween things. And I just like browse through all of that, and that kind of helps like reset my creativity and kind of gives me some ideas and some inspiration to see like what I want to do. But in terms of like picking a crochet project, because I feel like that is a problem for a lot of people. It's like, oh, I don't know what I want to crochet today. I feel like we all have that problem where we have bought so many patterns that we haven't even touched yet because, you know, we just didn't have time. And I feel like there's so many patterns on my iPad that I haven't even made yet. For example, Anchor the Octopus. So what I've seen other people do is kind of just like put all the pattern names in like a random generator and just like spin the wheel or spin the random generator and see what it comes out with, and kind of just go from there. And with the random generator, it's really nice because it kind of takes that whole like decision making out of the picture, and you can just see what it pops up with and just go from there. So I highly recommend using one of the random generators if you are struggling with, you know, not knowing what to crochet and you have a bunch of patterns on your like iPad or computer that you bought but haven't made yet. So the next question is by Nerdy Girl Crochets. Hey Britt, she asked, what do you wish you could tell yourself back when you were about to take the leap? Honestly, this is a good question because I feel like that was the biggest thing I was struggling with in terms of like, should I go full-time with crochet? Should I not? And of course, there's like the pros and cons with anything, but specifically, if I were to look back and tell, you know, past Jenna before she was about to take the leap, I feel like I would tell her to try not to be as scared and just really enjoy it and embrace it, because it was one of the best decisions, honestly, that I've made. I have been so much happier this year being able to focus on crochet full-time, really just getting to do what I love every single day, all day, every day, and it's really a dream come true. And I feel like if I were to like look back and try to communicate that to my past self, I feel like that would have given her a lot more like ease with doing the transition and also like make her less scared. So I know Britt is one of those people who are going through the transition currently, like from working like a regular 9-to-5 job, salary job, and transitioning to crochet and kind of like seeing if their business can make it full time. And I would just try to tell Britt or anyone else in that same situation, like really just try to embrace this time period. As scary as it is, like you are getting to do what you love like every single day full time, and just really embrace that and just soak it all up, because it really is like a dream come true. And hopefully, you know, it all plays out for the best and you're able to really sustain it over the long run. But in the meantime, just like try not to worry too much about what could go wrong and just like embrace like the actual happiness of being able to do it. Nooks_hooks asked, what was your favorite place to live until now, and are you excited for your next adventure? Oh, this is a good question. So my husband and I have lived, I think this upcoming move will be our 5th move and our 5th location. So in the past 5 years, we've lived in Florida, Mississippi, California, and then I lived in DC, he lived in Virginia for a little bit, and then we're both from Jersey. So I feel like our favorite place that we've lived so far, and we both agree on it, is California. We absolutely love California, and I definitely am sad to leave this state because it has been amazing. Like, we absolutely love it, and I feel like we see ourselves coming back here and settling here in the future. But I will say we are super, super excited to go back to the East Coast, be near family. And I mentioned to you guys in a previous video that our move got delayed. So right now we're literally just like waiting around, waiting to move, waiting to like have that next adventure. And while it is kind of like bittersweet that we aren't able to move right away, it is kind of nice that we get to soak up these last few weeks/months here in California. Jewelry by the Squad asked, when did you begin crocheting? Okay, so I'll answer this question in case anyone's new here, but basically I was a knitter growing up. My mom like signed me up for knitting classes at a super young age, maybe like 6, 7, 8, so like pretty young. And I did enjoy knitting, but you know, as a kid it was pretty boring. Like, I was just making a hat, a scarf, a blanket, and that takes a long time, you know? So fast forward, I kind of like let go of knitting. I was like, you know, it wasn't too exciting. So then my mom randomly got me a cat sweater crochet kit for Christmas, and that changed everything. That really got me into crocheting. And the fun thing is that I didn't even start like crocheting like a cat sweater, because that was the whole purpose of the kit. Instead, I went on YouTube because I didn't understand like the instructions in the book. So I went on YouTube to look up how to do the stitches and everything, and then I saw all of these stuffed animal amigurumi tutorials, and I'm like, wait, that seems so much cooler than like a cat sweater, so let me try to learn that. So then I learned the magic ring, I did my first few plushies, and I've been hooked ever since. Like, I haven't stopped crocheting since that day back in January. I want to say like January 1st of 2022 is when I first started crocheting plushies, because my mom gave me the cat sweater crochet kit for Christmas, so that was like December of 2021. But it wasn't until I like went home after Christmas where I attempted to do the cat sweater and really dived into the world of crochet. So it's been around 3-ish years now, and I still love it as much as I did back then. Bubble Knot asked, do you ever want to do another market, or was selling patterns more profitable? So I will say where I was when I was doing markets, I was in Mississippi, a pretty small town. So it wasn't like these like huge, crazy like 2-day markets that a lot of other crocheters do. And with those markets, I'd say you could make like thousands of dollars if you do it right. So that was definitely not my experience. I think I did like a 4-hour market and I made like 400 or 300 bucks, and that's still really good. But for the amount of work that went into prepping and just like the stress of setting up and like doing it, I wouldn't say it was worth it in terms of the money, but in terms of the experience, yes. Like, I love doing the markets just for the social experience, like seeing people in person, look at my plushies, talk to people about my plushies, and really seeing their face light up when they like buy them for their kids or for themselves. I love that. You don't get that when you sell plushies online, but I will say money-wise, it wasn't worth the work for me at least. But if I were to do like a bigger market, like a 2-day market where it's like literally all day and there's like thousands of people attending, I feel like it would be worth it because then I would have the potential to make thousands and get the money back and make a profit. So I guess it kind of just depends, but I know the city that I'm moving to in North Carolina has a market, and while it is not like a big market, it's one of those markets that happen like every like weekend. So I feel like if I wanted to test the waters again and kind of like enter the market scene, I could do one of those markets where I wouldn't have to like commit to like every weekend, but I could like pop in if I wanted to give it a try. I do want to do another market. I'm sad that I didn't get to do a market here in California. I really wanted to do one here in California, but also here in California, it's so hard to get into a market. I like applied and like I got denied and like it was hard and I got scammed. I almost got scammed that one time too. So it's harder definitely when you're in like the bigger cities and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully North Carolina will be better, but I will say selling patterns is super lucrative in terms of like the amount of work that goes into them and like the payoff and profit that you could receive, because with patterns, you know, it's all passive once you make that pattern. So I will say that is like a huge benefit with selling patterns versus like doing markets and selling physical plushies. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the questions. So the next question is from Mandy Made It Crochet. They asked, if you had the choice to collaborate with anyone, who would it be? I feel like the first person that came to mind isn't really a person but a company. I would love to partner with Nintendo or Disney. I feel like those two are like super big dreams of mine, but I feel like it would be hard to collab with them because, you know, copyright and stuff. Like I would probably want to make a character from them, but then like the whole copyright thing. So I don't know if that would ever happen, but Nintendo and Disney would be super cool. Andelra, oh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, I'm sorry, but this person asked, are you doing any other job besides crocheting? So no, I am a full-time crocheter as of January. I used to do like a regular 9-to-5 job where I was a consultant. I did a lot of like financial consulting, audit readiness stuff. So a totally different world than what I'm doing now. But yeah, I'm able to sustain, thank goodness, my full-time job here as a crocheter, and I am just so blessed. I could not do it without all of your guys' support. So seriously, thank you so much. Millie_Lily_Vanilli asked, where's Tom Nook in the background? I miss them. So yes, I had to sadly take down Tom and Isabel from my background just because whenever I film like brand collabs and like sponsored content, you're actually not allowed to have characters and things that are copyrighted from like other brands. So I found myself having to reshoot a lot of things because of Tom. They got me in trouble, so that is why they're no longer up there. And actually, along the same lines, I should probably take down Duo as well, Duolingo, but sometimes he gets away with it because I guess it's just like an owl. You wouldn't really know it's Duolingo, you know, if you don't know, but I should probably take him down too. But that's the main reason why I took them down. Sad, because Tom has been in my background ever since starting my YouTube channel, so it's an end of an era. Melinchi13 asked, how old am I? So I am 27. I turned 28 this October. I'm a Scorpio. I feel like people think I'm way younger than I am, but I am 27, about to turn 28, which is crazy because I do not feel like that old. And I know it's not technically like old, but I feel like it's way older than like what I identify with. Gayatri_7283 asked, when will you post the long video of the avocado bed and will you make a free pattern from it? Oh my gosh, yeah. So honestly, speaking of that, I do have that footage and I have not been able to post it on YouTube because I feel like I started filming it and then I took a really long break from the avocado bed. So I started making the avocado bed like last October. Then I stopped working on it and I just resumed it like this past like what, March? So there's like a huge gap and I think I lost footage low-key from like the early October era. I do have the newer footage of me finishing it up, but I just haven't found like a correct spot to put it. So maybe I should just insert it into this video or in the next video or something, because like it is a fun like video to watch. I'm making the avocado bed, Shay gets on it at one point, it's really cute, and I do need to write up the pattern still. I am slacking. The only reason why I haven't written it up yet is because I low-key forgot to write it down as I was crocheting it, so I kind of have to like go back and backtrack my steps. So that is why I haven't released that pattern yet, but it will be a free pattern once it releases. I just need to like sit down and retrace my steps and write it down for you guys. Uniquely.com and asked, how long did it take to feel like this wasn't just a hobby and you could actually make money from it. So when I first started out on Etsy, I was selling only physical plushies. Like I wasn't a pattern designer yet because I was still pretty new to crochet. And I feel like once I started selling consistently on Etsy month to month, I'd say like maybe I'd sell, I don't even know, I have to look back at my analytics, but I want to say I was sold a few thousand every month. I was like, whoa, like this could be more than a hobby. Like this is way more than I ever thought would be possible with crochet and crochet plushies. Like I realized like the demand for crochet plushies was so much higher than I thought initially. So I feel like that's when I kind of had that aha moment, like, whoa, like this could be pretty lucrative. And I'd say that was like a few months into selling on Etsy. And then once I switched over to patterns and really getting into the world of pattern designing and releasing patterns on a good basis, like a good frequency, I would say that is when like it completely changed. My whole business model changed and things really started like taking off, and I felt comfortable enough to like take the leap to full time. Because, you know, with crocheting plushies, you have to physically sit down and crochet them. It's like very labor intensive. It's hard on you because you can't accept like an unlimited amount of orders because you're only one person, right? So I found like that was my biggest limiting thing. Like when crocheting just plushies, it's like I could only take on like 10 orders at a time, you know, and that caps how much money you can make. Whereas with patterns, you know, they're all passive, they're digital downloads, so I didn't have to worry about cranking out all of these orders because, you know, they're automatically fulfilled when someone buys them. So that's kind of like what really changed the game for me, is when I introduced patterns, digital downloads, and kind of switched over to mainly operate as like a pattern site, you know, pattern shop versus a handmade crochet business solely making plushies. And don't get me wrong, I still make plushies, I still take custom orders, it still makes up a good majority of like my income, but I will say to feel comfortable making this transition to full time, I did want something a lot more like stable and a lot more, I don't want to say like non-labor intensive, but like I wanted something that like didn't really depend on me physically making stuff, because I knew if that was the case, like it would be really hard every month because that would be a lot on me, and it would also be kind of limiting in terms of like how much I could potentially make. Live for something asked, what is it like to be a YouTuber? So I feel like it's still kind of weird that I'm like a YouTuber at this point, because I never envisioned myself being a YouTuber or a content creator or like literally showing my face on camera at all. Like that was the furthest thing that I ever thought would happen, because I mentioned this in a previous video, but in high school and everything, I was on the newspaper club and I was the video editor for newspaper club, because we did like weekly newscasts that were broadcasted in our school. So I would edit all those videos, but I never wanted to be in front of the camera. Like I never wanted to be one of the anchors. I never wanted to be one of the reporters, because that just like, ooh, I was like, no, like too shy for that. So like fast forward like 10 years later, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm like a YouTuber. I'm here like yapping away on the camera. And sometimes I get comments saying like, oh, she yaps too much. I'm like, that is so funny. Like I would have never thought that. But anyway, being a YouTuber is super fun because like I just have fun with it, honestly. Like you guys saw, this video is kind of chaotic because I don't really like script anything. I never plan anything out. It's just a very go with the flow kind of thing. And I feel like that's what makes it fun, because personally, I love watching people who are genuine and people who kind of show you how it really is. Like they take you through their day, they show you kind of like an unscripted version, a real version per se, you know? And I really enjoy that. So that's what I try to do when I make videos. I want to definitely come off as authentic as I can. I want to show you guys and be real with you guys about being a full-time crocheter, like what that entails, what my process looks like, what my business strategy is. Like no gatekeeping. Like I'm always here to just be open and share about my experience. I definitely want my channel to be a place where you guys can find inspiration, cozy vibes, just help with anything, good advice. Like I want it to just be a good cozy place. So hopefully I'll be able to continue doing that in the future, but I feel like it has been a really great experience, and I highly recommend starting a YouTube to anyone out there who even has a little inkling of starting one, because it has completely changed my life. Not to be dramatic, but it completely has changed my life, and it's been so amazing to like connect with all of you guys from all around the world and have this like one shared passion of crochet, being able to share your passion with others who truly have that same passion, and you guys all just come together and have that big passion together, like it's just so amazing, and it's so undescribable. Honestly, I'm having like a hard time even describing how amazing it is. So yeah, I wouldn't have it without YouTube, and it has been such an amazing ride. So I'd say like if you want to start your channel, go for it. Like you don't have to be perfect. I am not perfect in any way. Like just try to sit down and record yourself, and over time it will get easier. I will say the first time I recorded a video, it was so rough. It was so rough. I was like, this is so cringe, but you definitely get used to it the more you do it. And honestly, nowadays I find myself yapping and I need to like stop talking. So it's really fun to see how your confidence will evolve being a YouTuber, and just like getting more comfortable and finding your community and really connecting with people. So yeah, long story short, being a YouTuber is awesome. The next question that kind of ties into what I was just saying is from Charity Rose Crochet. Hey Charity, she's a fellow patron of mine, also has a YouTube. Definitely go check out her channel. But she asked, how do you keep up with editing and posting a YouTube video every week with life and work? So honestly, I'm a bit crazy. I do really like to be ahead of deadlines. So typically with my YouTube videos, I always plan and edit like 2 weeks in advance. So for example, today is what? Today is August 8th. This video is not slated to go out until August 20th, but I'm sitting down to film it now. So I feel like that is how I'm able to really stick to the weekly posting schedule. Just always try to stay ahead, and that way you will never feel like you're scrambling and trying to post a new video, because hopefully you will already have that video filmed and edited and ready to go in the queue 2 weeks ahead of time. And I feel like that is a lot though to keep up with, and even myself, like I get super overwhelmed sometimes because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'll have to crank out the next video and have it ready in the queue. And sometimes when I feel that way, you can kind of just like fall back on some of the easier videos. So like tutorial videos, while they do take a while to like film and edit, they are super simple to like actually like do, because you just follow, you know, your pattern or something and kind of walk people through it. It doesn't take a lot of like creativity or brain power or crocheting something. So I feel like tutorials are always easy to fall back on. Q&A videos are really easy to fall back on. And for me personally, I just always have the habit of starting to record. Even if I don't have a video in mind, I always make sure I record myself if I'm starting a new project, if I'm designing a new pattern, literally if I'm doing like anything. I just got into the routine of turning on the camera and hitting record, because that way you always have this like really good amount of footage to work with, and then from there you can kind of like parse together a video like day in my life, week in my life, crochet and chat, etc. But if you don't have that footage, you will not be able to make that video. So I feel like that is my biggest tip. Just like whenever you sit down to do anything crochet related, business related, etc., hit record and just have that footage just in case you need it. Okay, so I feel like I've been yapping for a while. I actually don't know like how long this video is, because I have this really weird fear that my camera will stop recording like halfway through. So I always like end the recording and start a new recording. So this clip that I'm recording right now, it says 15 minutes, but I know I've been talking for way longer. So maybe I'll do a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up, and then I can pivot back over to Anchor. Caroline G Lifts, which is actually my friend in real life, she asked, does your husband know how to crochet? So no, he does not know how to crochet. I did try to teach him and he got it. Like he was able to do a single crochet pretty quickly, and I was like, ooh, I really want him to start crocheting on a regular basis though, because I told him like if he does, we would be unstoppable. We would truly be unstoppable. So if he started crocheting, that would change everything. But he's a busy guy, so I understand, but I really want him to get into crochet. I feel like that would be so fun, but also so good for the business. Sophia's _custom_crochet asked, what is your fave and least favorite yarn? I would say my favorite yarn, of course, is Parfait Chunky by Premier. My least favorite would have to be acrylic, any type of acrylic yarn, sadly. And I'm sad to say that because I have done acrylic projects that I'm happy with, but I feel like that is just like my least used yarn, or if like I had all of the yarn to choose from, that would probably be the last one I would pick for a project. So sadly, acrylic. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Another question that I just saw is by art_macon_mama. They asked, why not acrylic? What do you like more about plush yarn / blanket yarn? So honestly, for me, I guess it's just kind of like a texture and an aesthetic thing. I feel like with acrylic, the texture is like super rough. So when you use acrylic for a long time, I feel like almost like a burning sensation sometimes. Like it's kind of like when you get rug burn, you know, like that friction against your skin. I feel like I get that a lot with acrylic, and maybe that's just because like my tension is tight and it makes it hard to like use the yarn, but I feel like I get that with acrylic and I never get that with Parfait Chunky or like the chenille yarns. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like it. Another reason is because with acrylic, it really shows off any mistake that you do, especially with sewing. If you sew with acrylic, especially with like plushies and amigurumi, you will see your mistakes. And I only say that from experience. Like whenever I've put together something with acrylic yarn, I'm like, ooh, it looks kind of messy. Whereas with Parfait Chunky or chenille yarn, it pretty much hides like any mistake that you have in terms of like sewing. Everything kind of blends together, which is so nice in my opinion. But I am so jealous of the acrylic like girlies out there who really can use acrylic yarn and make it look perfect and flawless. I aspire to be that because that is just like another level. And I follow a lot of acrylic like crocheters on Instagram just because I admire their work so much. I'm like, I could never. Like acrylic yarn is a totally different playing field. So I feel like that's why I also lean towards like Parfait Chunky and chenille yarn. It's because it hides my mistakes way easier. Okay, I'm gonna do two more. Let's see. SGA crochet underscore TSV asked, have you found that there's more competition with amigurumi now than before? Honestly, yes. I will say amigurumi has really exploded in terms of like being trendy and everyone kind of hopping on it and like learning about it and getting involved. But with this being said, I will say that like it does not have to be a competition with us sellers. Like I feel like the crochet community definitely is big enough for everybody to thrive, everyone to have their ideas out there. That is like one of my big things, and like maybe a hot take honestly is that like there is room for all of us. We do not have to be stepping on each other's toes and like coming at each other in a negative way. Like if I have a pattern for an octopus, for example, there can be other octopus patterns out there. Everyone has their own approach, everyone has their own style, and as long as you're not directly like copying someone's design, like taking their pattern, copying it word for word and selling it as your own, I think it's a fair game. Like I think we can all thrive, we can all be in the crochet community, and I feel like that is something that's come to light more. Like the more designers that are out there, yes, there will be a more saturated market, but at the same time, it's good to have variety. Like maybe someone was looking for a crochet octopus pattern, but they didn't like the style that I offered, so it's good that there's like other sellers out there who are selling octopus patterns as well that have different styles, you know? I've been there myself. Like I was looking for, you know, a giraffe pattern and I didn't see any that I personally like wanted, so I went ahead and designed my own. So that's kind of like the nice thing about being a crocheter, is that we do have the power of bringing designs to life, and even though there are more of us, there's definitely room for all of us to like thrive in this community. And actually I lied, my camera's dying, so that is going to be the last question that I answer. But thank you guys so much for asking me all of those fun questions. I really tried to answer as many as I could, but I feel like I was yapping, so we might have to do another Q&A video in the future. I appreciate everyone who asked a question though, and if you're a patron of mine, hopefully I'll be able to answer your question the next go around for our Patreon exclusive video in August. But I'm going to now pivot. I'm going to try to do Anchor and we'll see. I'm gonna charge my camera and then I'll check back in with you guys. Alright guys, I just took a shower, I'm back in the office, and I'm going to attempt to make Anchor. I honestly am feeling kind of scared. I feel like the tentacles are really confusing, but I need to read through the pattern again and really just focus. But I will check in with you guys after I hopefully make this first tentacle. Okay, first tentacle down, and this is actually only one side of the tentacle. I feel like this project is gonna be a little lengthy, way more than I thought it would be, so I'm gonna really try to hold myself accountable and finish this for you guys, but we'll see how long it takes. This took me around 10 minutes, and look at that. The bobbles were actually kind of fun to make after I got into the groove. It's not as complicated as I thought. The next part where you connect the other side of the tentacle, I don't know, that's a little sus, but we'll just take it step by step. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But okay, I'm gonna zone in, try to get these other tentacles done, and we'll see where I end up. I just got done all 8 tentacles and it took way longer than I thought. It's currently 5:30, so I hate to do this, but I think I have to break out this video into like a part 2, where in next week's video, I promise I will show you guys the finished anchor, because I feel like at this point this Q&A video is just like way too long, but we're kind of almost there. I feel like this was the most tedious part. The other like backside of the tentacle shouldn't take me that long, and then it's just crocheting the body, but for time's sake I am going to save this for next week's video. So sorry about that, friends, but hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was so fun to film. If you guys want me to do more Q&As in the future, definitely let me know down below, because I would love to do it. I definitely didn't get to answer everybody's questions, so hopefully if I do it again, I'll be able to answer more questions and get to everybody. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!